Today I'm going to demonstrate the German twisted cast on. This is a great stretchy cast on for sock cuffs. It creates a really nice, firm, sturdy, stretchy edge. So I'm going to explain this technique in 4 steps. So I'll explain and demonstrate all the steps really slowly at first, and then I'll just go through it a few times, casting on several stitches step by step. So the German twisted cast on is a variation of the long tail cast on. So you'll have one strand from the tail end of the yarn, one strand from the ball end of the yarn, simultaneously working both of those strands to create the cast on edge. You'll want to start with a nice long tail, and there are a number of ways that you can calculate how long this tail needs to be. One way is to make the tail about 3 times longer than the length of the piece that you're knitting. Another way to calculate the length of your tail is to cast on, say, 10 stitches, then unravel that cast on, and you'll know how much yarn you need for 10 stitches, and you can use that to calculate how many you'll need for your cast on. So for example, if you need 20 stitches, you'll need a tail that's about twice as long. So a lot of tutorials on this and other long tail cast-ons start by placing a slip knot on the needle. I personally don't do this. I find that it's not necessary, and all it really does is create a bump in your cast-on that doesn't need to be there. So the way I like to do the long tail cast-on and the German twisted cast-on is to just drape the yarn over the needle. You've got your tail end over the front, your ball end in the back, and just hold that strand there with your forefinger. So this ends up being your first stitch, and if you just hold it there with your finger, you really don't need a knot, and then you'll get a nice smooth cast on edge. So to start, we're going to take our left hand and just hold those 2 strands, the tail in the front, ball in the back, hold those 2 strands in the 3 last fingers of our left hand. Then we'll take our thumb and our forefinger, put them down the middle of that loop and up. So we've got a loop on our thumb holding the tail end and a loop on our forefinger holding the ball end. And we've got our first stitch right here on the needle. So to form our second stitch, we'll go through the 4 steps. The first step, you draw your needle down and under both of these strands and up through the middle of your 2 loops. So let's just try that one more time. This is the first step. Draw the needle down and under both of those strands that form the loop on your left thumb. The second step is you're going to draw your needle down in between those 2 strands on your thumb. The third step, you take your needle up and around the back of this strand on your forefinger. And then the fourth step, you draw that strand in between that X that's formed by the loop on your thumb. Release the loop from your thumb and pull it tight, not too tight. Okay, so we've got 2 stitches on our needle. So let's try that again. Step 1, draw the needle down and under both of those strands that form the loop on your thumb. The needle goes down in between the strands on your thumb. Draw it up and around the back of this strand on your forefinger, and then through the triangle right there formed by that X. Okay, let's try it again. Down and through the middle, down through the center of that thumb loop, up and around the back of that strand, and through the hole made there by that loop on your thumb. Down and catch both those strands, down through the middle, up and around the back, and then through that little triangle space. And so that's what it looks like. I'll just do a couple more. Down and through the middle, catching both those strands. Down in between that loop, up and around the back, and through that triangle. Down and up through the middle, catching both strands, down through that center of that loop, up and around the back of the strand on your finger, and through that triangular space. And that's it. That's the German twisted cast on. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this tutorial, please press like and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more tutorials and videos.